to expand registered apprenticeship opportunities. But before we do that, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. I am going to pause here for a moment to let Darcy turn on the recording. And just to let you know that this webinar is going to be recorded. It will be available on the New Jersey Apprenticeship Technical Assistance Collaborative webpage. My colleague Darcy is going to drop that URL in the chat. And if you don't wish to appear on this recording, you are welcome to keep your cameras off. Most of us are used to Zoom meetings, but just a reminder to stay on mute. I believe we actually have you all muted, but we do encourage you to turn your camera on later on when you're asking questions if you feel comfortable doing so. And if you do have questions, you can drop them in the Q&A section, or you can also put them in the chat. If you're having any problems during this webinar, being able to access stuff or having some technical difficulties, just drop a chat, either drop a chat to Darcy Simon, or you can email her offline at dsimon@air.org. So today's session is going to be facilitated by Maria Heidkamp. She is the Chief Innovation and Policy Officer for New Jersey Council of County Colleges. She's also leading the New Jersey Apprenticeship Technical Assistance Collaborative Initiative. And it will also be presented by Chris Herzog from the American Institute for Research, and we are one of the partners on this project. So with that, I'm going to turn facilitation duties over to Maria.
Thank you so much, Abby, and welcome to everyone. I'm Maria Heidkamp, as she said, on behalf of the New Jersey Council of County Colleges. I'm thrilled that you're joining us for this session today. The New Jersey Apprenticeship Technical Assistance Collaborative is a statewide initiative that supports technical assistance for the growth and expansion of registered apprenticeship programs in New Jersey. The initiative is a partnership between the Council of County Colleges, American Institutes for Research, AIR, and Jobs for the Future, JFF, in partnership with the New Jersey Department of Labor. There are New Jersey Department of Labor staff on this session, and they will join us for the question and answer period. Next slide, please. This is the final webinar in the Fundamentals of Registered Apprenticeship series, which has been developed by New Jersey ATAC to promote a knowledgeable, skilled workforce of apprenticeship professionals in New Jersey. If you missed our earlier webinars, you can use the link that Darcy dropped a moment ago in the chat. And with that, I will turn things over to Chris Herzog. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Maria, and thank you so much for shepherding this project. The introduction we're going to share with you today is really just a reiteration of some of the things that we've talked about previously. We know that high quality registered apprenticeship systems really depend on strong partnerships across the apprenticeship ecosystem. Each partner plays different and important roles, and sometimes those roles can overlap or be played by different partners. Relationships with business and industry, though, are at the core of registered apprenticeship. Businesses will engage with many partners in the apprenticeship ecosystem as they explore the model or seek to grow their programs. And really understanding those partner roles and ensuring alignment is crucial to maintaining a quality, efficient apprenticeship system. Next slide, please. In this session, we're going to discuss partnership roles and alignment for registered apprenticeship. We'll explore some of the strategies you'll want to consider for working with businesses and employers. We'll review a partnership roadmap and some next steps for building effective partnership. And finally, we'll provide some resources to support partnering for business engagement, as well as a link to the U.S. Department of Labor Office of Apprenticeships business engagement training for frontline apprenticeship professionals. So just a reminder, this is an introduction, and there are more materials available online. So let's take a look at how partnerships support business engagement in the registered apprenticeship system. There are 4 partners that are central to apprenticeship. The first are sponsors, and sponsors can be an employer or an intermediary organization that oversees multiple employers. Sponsors are responsible for the administration of the apprenticeship program, including ensuring that the program is running properly and in accordance with their program standards and state and federal regulations. If we could go back to slide 9, please. Employers, the responsibilities of an employer in the registered apprenticeship program include identifying the skills and knowledge that apprentices will learn, selecting and hiring individuals, either new or current employers, to be apprentices, providing on-the-job learning experiences to apprentices, designating mentors, and paying progressively higher wages as apprentices increase their skills and knowledge. Education providers develop the curriculum for related training or classroom instruction in collaboration with the employer. They help identify instructors and deliver the classroom instruction to apprentices and keep records to document apprentice completion. System partners, U.S. Department of Labor's Office of Apprenticeship and the New Jersey Department of Labor apprenticeship team provide support with registering apprenticeship programs, reaching out to businesses, and providing technical assistance. Since New Jersey is an Office of Apprenticeship state, there is an apprenticeship director who is a USDOL employee that oversees the entire apprenticeship system in the state. And in New Jersey, that is Michael Blatt. Additionally, NJDOL has an assistant director of apprenticeships and work-based learning. That's Jim Manning, who is with us today, and an assistant director of business services and sector strategies, Howard Miller, that help to focus on apprenticeship expansion. And while these are essential players in registered apprenticeship, they are supported by an entire apprenticeship ecosystem. New Jersey's apprenticeship ecosystem is displayed here. This infographic of the New Jersey apprenticeship ecosystem may look familiar to those of you that saw our first 2 webinars. In our first webinar, we talked a lot about the ecosystem, and today we're really going to focus more on the important partners, and in particular, some educational partners or related training providers and how they can support business engagement. Potential partners and roles that support employer and apprentice success, partners from the workforce system, community-based organizations, population-specific programs, and different education partners all contribute to bringing businesses into apprenticeship and then supporting their programs and apprentices to really thrive. So there are key roles that these partners that can play, building industry and employer awareness about the benefits of using the apprenticeship model, educating community partners, job seekers, youth, parents about apprenticeship career pathways, conducting focused outreach, really, and recruitment of apprentices, developing and implementing or administering pre-apprenticeship providers, providing supportive services, case management, wraparound services. So as you can see in this table, each partner can play multiple roles. And in the next 2 slides, we'll see different models of how this can look with different partners. So we're going to show you 4 different partner model examples, moving from sort of the most basic, fairly simple model to a more complex one. A fairly simple model on the left side of your screen involves the businesses as the sponsor of the apprenticeship program that provides on-the-job learning and also the related training. The community college develops the curriculum to align with industry standards and delivers instruction. And the One Stop Center supports the business by working with job seekers, recruiting them, and screening them for eligibility. On the right, we see an intermediary model where the community college is the sponsor administering a program that serves multiple businesses, as well as developing and delivering related training. WIOA programs really provide training funds to support apprentices and employers. In the next example on this slide, you could see that the partnership models get more complex, and some partners take on different roles. The constant in all of these models is business or multiple businesses helping to really drive everything that we do. The number of partners really can change as the roles and as well as the roles that they play, and these are just some of the examples of how the ecosystem comes together. So we'll talk now a little bit about business engagement for apprenticeship expansion. As you know, this is the third of our 3 webinars. And in the first 2, we provided an overview of registered apprenticeship. We discussed the value of apprenticeship and looked at different apprenticeship models. Now that we've looked at the roles that partners can play in the apprenticeship system, we're going to focus a little bit more on how you can get to encourage businesses and employers to consider adopting the apprenticeship model. In the previous slides, we saw that business is the constant across all the models of partnership, and that's because apprenticeship is led by industry and truly driven by the employers themselves. And in order for apprenticeship to really be sustainable and to continue growth and expansion into new occupations and new industries, there has to be a continuous infusion of new businesses adopting apprenticeship. Everyone in the apprenticeship ecosystem plays a role in bringing on new employers, and that requires really effectively communicating the value of apprenticeship while responding to and correcting for some of those common myths and misconceptions that you may have heard about the model. For the next few minutes, we're going to tackle some of those common myths and that you may encounter in the field and provide some facts that you can share to counteract them. So starting with apprenticeships and internships, apprenticeships and internships are the same thing. This is absolutely a myth. Some people use the terms apprenticeship and internship interchangeably when in fact they are very different from one another. Internships are generally short-term and they're often unpaid. Apprenticeships are long-term workforce development strategies. Apprenticeships are also paid employment. They include progressive wage increases and lead to a career with national credentials. The next myth, apprenticeships are only for the construction trades. And I know we have all addressed this at one point or another if you're out talking to businesses about apprenticeship. When many people hear the term apprenticeship, they tend to think construction and skilled trades, and they may even think that these are the only occupations that utilize apprenticeship. And in fact, as many of us know, apprenticeships are available in a range of industries, with more that are joining all the time. In New Jersey, there are apprenticeship programs in healthcare, in information technology, telecommunications, energy, manufacturing, finance and business, hospitality and transportation. And when you share this with employers, it opens up the opportunity to imagine what could be possible with regard to apprenticeship in their own business. The next myth is that apprenticeships are only available to employers with union affiliation. There is often a perception that apprenticeship is only for employers that are union affiliated. And this misconception is really understandable, as unions have and still do play a critical role in the registered apprenticeship system in the United States. However, apprenticeship is not just for union affiliated employers. And in fact, nationally, non-union apprenticeship programs now outnumber those that are sponsored by joint labor management organizations. The next myth is around the cost of apprenticeship. The myth is that apprenticeship programs cost business and employers too much, that it's simply not worth it. Some businesses and employers may believe that it costs too much to adopt the apprenticeship model. However, there is initially no cost to create and register an apprenticeship. And in fact, when doing a cost-benefit analysis, a study of the American Apprenticeship Initiative found that nationally, employers using apprenticeship saw a return on investment of about $1.44 for every dollar invested when both direct and indirect benefits are counted. Additionally, there are state and federal tax incentives, workforce development grants, and other opportunities that may also be available to assist with training costs. We find that this is incredibly powerful information when shared with employers. And the last, two more myths. Developing programs. Apprenticeship programs are hard to develop and implement. We hear this time and time again, and although it is not simple, and businesses and employers may have concerns about how challenging it is to develop and implement an apprenticeship program. This doesn't have to be the case. There are a number of resources to help employers, and more importantly, the experts at the U.S. Department of Labor Office of Apprenticeship can really help guide potential sponsors and employers through the entire process. Another myth that we often hear is once an apprentice gains some training, they will leave for other employment. And this is the last misconception we're going to talk about today, a big one, and one that I most like to have a conversation with employers about. There is significant fear that employers have that when they invest time and resources to develop talent, that it's just going to go somewhere else after they attain that credential. And the U.S. Department of Labor actually reports that over 90% of apprentices stay with their employer throughout the course of their apprenticeship and beyond. Employees stay where they feel valued, and apprentices are actually employees. So investing the training and development of an apprentice can actually build loyalty to employers and reduce turnover and the costs of turnover. There are many benefits of apprenticeship that can become familiar with to get businesses and individuals excited about apprenticeship opportunities. So we have some basic data here. The items in blue highlight are well suited for talking with business about the value of apprenticeship. So the return on investment for employers, the retention of apprentices, these are things you want to share with business. The information about earning potential that we've highlighted in purple here is more apt for working with job seekers and other individuals about the impact participating in apprenticeship has for them. Really knowing this information about the return on investment can help allow you to tailor your message depending on the context and who your audience is. Now that we've discussed the importance of partnerships and tips for engaging with businesses to promote apprenticeship expansion, we're going to take just a moment to pivot and look at how this knowledge can actually be operationalized. So in working with the New Jersey and the USDOL team, we have here a roadmap of partnership opportunities. And this roadmap demonstrates how partnership can work in New Jersey. So here's how the process could work, really starting with outreach and leading all the way through to connecting with supportive services. We have a number of steps along the way here, from outreach and recruitment to really orientating to New Jersey processes and responsibilities, developing those program standards, approving and registering programs, onboarding folks, orienting them to the New Jersey Apprenticeship Network, assisting sponsors, and really connecting sponsors and apprentices with the supportive services. You'll note that they're each color-coded between shared roles, where our local workforce centers, New Jersey Department of Labor, our workforce boards, county colleges, all have a hand in that piece, where New Jersey Department of Labor plays a formative role, and then where USDOL Office of Apprenticeship, it really takes the lead with regard to developing those program standards, approving and registering programs, and onboarding to systems. So ultimately, we know that some employers will enter this roadmap at different places, and it's important really to meet the businesses where they are. You know, one example would be a business that knows very little about apprenticeship, and in your role with your organization, you may be the first person bringing them on this journey before handing them off to New Jersey Department of Labor or the Office of Apprenticeship. In this case, an employer starts at the very first step of outreach and recruitment and then continues down the path until they're registered and now looking to connect to supportive services, leading down that pathway. It's also possible that a business is very familiar with apprenticeship. Maybe they want to add a new occupation to their existing training program, like adding a cybersecurity apprenticeship alongside their computer programming apprenticeship. They may enter this roadmap with a set of developed program standards that simply needs to be reviewed, so they enter at the approve and register program stage. Regardless of where a business or employer enters the roadmap, it's critical to know where the handoff points are and to whom you are connecting them to take that next step in the system. So what are the next steps? The apprenticeship ecosystem is at its best when partners are coming to the table with the same knowledge. It's important to know what the ecosystem looks like in your area, including which apprenticeship training representative or ATR serves your county, the unions and industry associations that are operating in your area, which labor market information or what labor market information has to say about the workforce needs and opportunities, both statewide and in your county or region, and what employers are currently apprenticeship sponsors and who might benefit from adopting the apprenticeship model. It's also critical to know how to talk with business and employers about apprenticeship as a workforce solution using the language that business really understands. So we're going to provide a resource to support talking to business in just a moment. First, I want to reiterate who your New Jersey apprenticeship contacts are. In this slide, we have included the apprenticeship training representatives for your county, as well as contact information for our New Jersey Department of Labor regarding inquiries about apprenticeship and state grants. As a reminder, New Jersey Department of Labor does not develop apprenticeship programs. USDOL Office of Apprenticeship is responsible for that. And inquiries can be directed to either NJDOL or USDOL offices. The Office of Apprenticeship does not use the NJDOL intake form for development or registration purposes. We have the link here. This is just for informational requests to NJDOL. So before we summarize today's webinar and open things up for questions from you all, which we ask that you provide in the Q&A or chat, we want to provide resources to support building strong partnerships and for business engagements to expand apprenticeship. The New Jersey Apprenticeship Network is the place to go to get information about how to develop programs and to discover what grant opportunities are available to support apprenticeship. The Apprenticeship Professionals Learning Network provides information, resources, webinars, and newsletters on topics that are key to apprenticeship and has multiple modules specifically dedicated to business engagement. The network also provides free access to the AP Learning Portal, which has not only those business engagement courses, but also apprenticeship fundamentals, pre-apprenticeship, and more. So I spent a lot of time there sharing some information, and we would love to hear questions from you all. If you would like to share them in the chat, we do have some folks here from USDOL and from NJDOL who can help answer questions for you. Before we dive into that, I will do a quick knowledge review, so encouraging you to drop those questions in. Today, we've covered a lot, including the importance of partnerships in developing and sustaining high-quality registered apprenticeship programs, that there may be partnership models that operate in the apprenticeship ecosystem. Business, industry, and employers are central to every partnership model. We know that effectively dispelling myths about and communicating the value of apprenticeship is the responsibility of all partners in the ecosystem. And understanding partner roles and where handoffs occur really helps to support a system that's efficient, that's easy to navigate, and really welcoming to new businesses and employers, which is where I think we all may want to be. Okay. So our next step is questions. Do we have any questions, folks?
Chris, there's a question in the Q&A about asking, is there anywhere that I can access a list of companies that are already sponsors of apprenticeship so that we can do outreach and offer related training and instruction support? And that's going to be a question for our New Jersey folks. Either Jim or Michael, do you know about that?
Jim, you want to take this one?
Sure. Yes. So on the U.S. Department of Labor website, there is a link where you can search for apprenticeship programs that are registered in the state of New Jersey, actually throughout the whole country. But you can sort it by state, sort it by county, and it'll list all the registered apprenticeship sponsors that are listed within the county, within the state, or by county. I'll do my best to try to find that link and put it in the chat while we're talking.
Thank you so much, Jim. Michael, do you want to add anything?
No. I think that people that are looking for information on about apprenticeship can also go to the apprenticeship.gov website. It's a great resource to see what apprenticeships are available within New Jersey. And if not, they could always contact our office and we'll be able to assist them as well.
Thank you so much, both of you. We have another question slash comment, and that is from Cynthia that says, we are coming to a close on the New Jersey HealthWorks grant and would like to continue the great progress that we've made with apprenticeships. All the new grants seem to only have training included, and they are looking to sustain their administrative roles. Do you know any new grants that cover grant administration as well? And I know that that Jim, you might have, or I'm not sure if Howard is here, but what's going on in the New Jersey grant world.
Sure. So within our New Jersey Office of Apprenticeship and Work-Based Learning Unit, we do have two primary grants that focus on registered apprenticeship. One is our GAINS program called Growing Apprenticeship in Non-Traditional Sectors. So that's to help employers or sponsors, registered apprenticeship sponsors, to train apprentices in registered apprenticeship occupations. So that grant opportunity is on our website. If you go to New Jersey Department of Labor website, so if you go to nj.gov/labor, and then you'll see an area that has grant opportunities, and you'll be able to click on grant opportunities and obtain that information about the various grants that we have available. So our GAINS grant does allow for a eligible entity to apply for a grant to cover the training and some associated administrative costs to help oversee the training, the administration of the project that you're trying to apply for. It is a competitive process, and thank you for entering that link in there, Darcy. And that will provide information. So that grant opportunity will provide information about how to apply. So an allowable cost would be administrative costs, training costs to that. We don't have particularly grants specific for administrative costs alone, but it could be incorporated in your grant application when you do apply.
Yeah, I would also just like to add as well as that, very often, obviously, there are federal grants that come down, but typically they are at the 30,000-foot level where they are funneled to the state, and the state then puts out their grant notices to further down the chain. But certainly, to Jim's point as well, typically most grants are not just dedicated to grant administration.
Thank you both. And yeah, I know that continues to be a challenge for folks to just have that administrative capacity. So appreciate the question and appreciate the responses that you both have. We have a question about a person who is from Greater Raritan/Hunterdon. I am clearly not from New Jersey and Somerset. And that person would like to know if they should be working with someone other than Nicole Field, who is the person that they've been working with. And I think that's like what ATR jurisdiction there is.
Sure, I could take that one. If they, depending on what area, what sector they're looking at, we certainly have other ATRs that, depending on the industrial sector, we have, each ATR is an SME as well. But quite honestly, if they're working with Nicole Fields, they're in good hands.
Great, I love that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and then I see from David Williams that they are participating in the PACE grant at a vocational school, and they have a question. It looks a little general about how can we partner with you, and I'm wondering, David, if you want to maybe come off mute and expand on that a little bit, or put in the chat like who exactly you want to partner with, or are you putting things out into the ether so other folks will partner with you? Do you still hear David?
So David, you should be able to unmute. It looks like you're unmuted, but I'm not hearing you.
Okay, well, we can come back to David. David, just give us a thumbs up when you're ready. We had a couple questions about whether or not, oh, David said his mic's not working. So maybe, David, if you want to just put something in the chat that we could help kind of zero in on how to get support for you, that would be really fantastic. I do see some questions about the slide deck. Yes, the slide deck will be shared. It takes a few days to get it up, and it will be on the new New Jersey Apprenticeship Technical Assistance Collaborative website, which I believe Darcy dropped earlier.
Abby, if you like me, I do see the question that David Williams asked. So as a PACE grantee, and PACE is our pre-apprenticeship and career education grant that New Jersey Department of Labor does offer to interested eligible entities that are going to do pre-apprenticeship training, help prepare individuals for for placement into registered apprenticeship or other successful outcomes. So since you are a PACE grantee, I would suggest to reach out to our PACE, to our grant management office. If you send an email to apprenticeshipUnit@nj.dol.gov, or send an email to myself, Jim Manning or James Manning, I will be able to help you out and get you that. So I believe you're saying how can we partner with you? If you're looking for additional partners for your PACE grant, say other registered apprenticeship employers or sponsors, the best way is search that link that I did send you. That's one opportunity, but the best way is in your geographical area, in your county or in your area, to try to reach out to sponsors that are close to you and develop that relationship. I can talk to you more offline about that in the future if you need to.
Yeah, and if I could just add to that as well, is you can contact your county's ATR. They will be able to assist you to as well to make those connections with registered apprenticeship programs, as both the state and our office work very closely to identify and assist the expansion of these programs.
Thank you both. There's so much going on with the organizations that support apprenticeship in New Jersey, and love to hear just all of your availability to work together to create such an excellent and more seamless system. Speaking of PACE, can folks that were awarded round 1 apply for round 2 with the new PACE announcement having dropped?
No, within the PACE round 2 grant announcement, it does state that grantees that were funded in round 1 are not eligible to apply for round 2. So I would just suggest overall to anybody who's interested in our grant opportunities to go to our Department of Labor website. The full grant opportunity explains every step of the process, as well as any eligibility factors, if you can apply or not. So it does state within that you will not be able to apply for round 2. And if you'd like me to take the next questions from Mr. Williams regarding the next step when students complete, I will, Mr. Williams, I would just suggest, since you are a grantee, please contact our office for any technical assistance that you may need. We can help you. So when the students complete your program, you would then help place them into registered apprenticeship or other employment opportunities that are outlined in your contract. But I really think that's really something we should talk offline about. So please reach out to our office, to your business representative that's assigned to your grant, or directly to me, and I'll make sure someone does contact you to further provide additional assistance to you.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thanks for grabbing that question. And I see that, excuse me, there's someone that put in the Q&A just noted, letting us all know that they are doing a youth apprenticeship week event, and really wanted to reiterate that link to business with the current New Jersey apprenticeship. So we're happy we can help you, and we're very excited to see that you're participating in the first Youth Apprenticeship Week, which is coming up in May. It's really fantastic to shine a light on the young people, and that's such a great need in the registered apprenticeship community, kind of especially across the board, where we see like the average age of entry is around 26, 27, and really to have that long-term sustainable workforce, being able to reach out to youth, get them excited about these opportunities for a career that's meaningful and that they can advance in without incurring a lot of student debt is such a fantastic opportunity. So we're really excited to see all of the celebrations that folks are going to be doing across the country for Youth Apprenticeship Week.
And if I could just add also as well is that I believe if it's not live yet, it should be shortly on the apprenticeship.gov website. There will be a page where you could list your event, which other people will be able to see and join in.
Thank you, Michael. I don't know if I've seen that yet, but we can make sure that it gets
Yeah, and
shared.
I will follow up with the national office to make sure when that'll go live as well.
And those are really great. And it's very similar to what happens during National Apprenticeship Week. And it's just such a fantastic opportunity to see what's going on in other states, to have other states see what you have going on, and to kind of start building a network and getting more ideas. So I really encourage you to put your event up there. Even if it's an in-person event, it's still great for especially folks that are newer to kind of see how other states and partners are showcasing the great work that you all are doing, so that maybe they can pick that up next year, do something similar.
Abby, I dropped into the webinar chat the link to the Youth Apprenticeship Week site where folks can post their events.
Thank you, Darcy. Just also as an aside to that is both our office and Jim Manning's team will always have staff available to speak at any of these events if you so desire.
Love that. Thank you. And I'm not seeing any more questions. Are you sure, anyone, that you don't want to ask something while you've got the full house here to provide you with answers, solutions, support? I am going to bump us to the next slide for a moment. If I can get to my button. Okay, this is just a list of some of the resources that we talked about today. I'm going to let Chris take over.
No, thanks so much. So we do want to encourage you to explore additional resources about the National Apprenticeship System by visiting these websites. Apprenticeship.gov is the Office of Apprenticeship website that contains information and trainings and links to federal apprenticeship resources. Apprenticeship.workforcegps.org is the online community of practice website that provides technical assistance for apprenticeship staff across the U.S. And apprenticeshipprofessionals.org is the site for Apprenticeship Professionals Learning Network, where we provide curated resources for apprenticeship professionals on the front lines of apprenticeship expansion in key topic areas that are related to apprenticeship expansion. We also want to hear directly from you. We are sharing a very, very brief survey for you about this webinar with a link that we're going to provide in the chat. A link will also be provided in a follow-up email. We want to hear back from you on how this went for you, and really to thank you for taking the time to watch this webcast developed by the New Jersey Apprenticeship Technical Assistance Collaborative in partnership with NJCCC and AIR. Maria, if you would like to close us out today.
I want to say thank you to everyone who participated. Special thanks, of course, to our AIR partners, Chris, Abby, Darcy, and I know behind the scenes, your other colleagues who have done such a great job of pulling this information together. Special thanks as well to Michael and Jim, our USDOL and NJDOL partners in this apprenticeship work. So with that, please feel free to reach out if you do have other questions that you want us to address, or if we can provide any other information, and we look forward to staying in touch. Thank you.